Hello, Virgo, to another timeless love variant reading where we discuss anything that wants to come up in regards to love, whether you're in a karmic, divine relationship, partnered up, single, divorced, married. And just to know that these messages may resonate more if Virgo is found in your Sun, Rising, and or Jupiter position. However, if you're here for your Virgo sign being in the placement of Moon, Mercury, or even Venus, you may be in search of emotional redemption, where I will ask you to check out the sister channel via the link below for content over yonder. All right, Virgo. As always, past, present, and future energeticals always come forth and use your discernment to take what belongs to you. Judgment, action. You're looking for discipline. You're looking for action being taken onto you. Whatever it is causing this, going to cause balance. The ether shall speak in regards to whatever it is that you're asking for. The answer is yes. Two of Pentacles, the balance, and the Emperor structure. So whatever is to happen to give you more balance and structure. But it's a heavy discipline. Like I said, you're looking for discipline. The Emperor card is that disciplinarian. So it's an energy that will put you in your place. It may be also a person that will put you in your place. If this is a person that is tied to you because this person invigorates your solar plexus, it's the twin answering to needing to be your judgment. But you don't know it's your twin. You may be ignorant of the term. You may, the term doesn't even apply into where you are in the immaturity of this connection, because I see two different areas of existence, like two different continents. You're connected through the stars. I almost saw that Two of Cups. Almost saw that Two of Cups. Fucking heartache. Three of Swords. Yeah. It's, the lesson is not to make a narrative fit, Virgo. I don't also think that if you're very truthful, you're not like that hopeless romantic. You're the hopeful romantic. All right? You don't put your time and attendance anywhere where you don't want some sort of accolades or assets coming from that. Like, that's very, very, very serious for you. That's where you come across very narcissistic, maybe in some of your connections, because you see things from a very linear point of view, but it has always worked in your favor, even if it was for detriment for other people. And even if that means the detriment of other people is a narrative of karma onto you, you understood this about your actions. That's why it's still not the fairest of judgments, although it is a judgment. All right, it has delivered a reason, and that reason is to break the heart. And the heart needed to break in order to understand that you don't live off of the existence only for your heart or for the sanctum or the sanctity of your heart. You live for the sanctity of breath, for the disciplinarian of structure for your existence, and the judgment for your light of reasoning here, the angelic part of you, to exist and come forth, and not the different egocentric ways that people in a dimension of linear fashion see and negate and act out their life. All right. I'm seeing a lot of karma here, all right? A lot of the karma has a lot to do with like falling new moon and full moon readings, not understanding that where this comes from. It's one thing to be a reader, understand what it is that you're reading in, and marketing the term new moon, full moon because it draws an attention and boosts up your algorithm. But it's another way inaccurate to really believe in the ideologies of moon energy when in the science of moon energy you only see one version of it. And until you understand that for the wholesomeness that it provides from all aspects of then also incorporating the other side, the dark side of the moon and the esoteric, is to not really understand full judgment, universal judgment, the 20 energy, not the ego 10 energy of judgment of yourself, where the things that you try to receive and the things that you try to close your chapters on and to try to begin new ones, whether it's end relationships or build new relationships or build new opportunities and end new opportunities, they become like it's dissatisfactory. And I see lots of disappointments, lots of like tail tucked in between your leg, not really sure, not really knowing what to do, feeling insecure. And there's a lot of karmic pull in this purple energy here, right? Which is then naturally going to cause imbalances to the crown chakra, which if that's imbalance, how are you going to bring harmony and balance to your solar plexus? It just won't really apply. And if we understand how the emperor works in structuring the root chakra and bringing that Aries energy to understanding ethereally, to connecting with the stars, to make things of the, to set the pace, set the example, Aries energy. And when you have that set the example sort of disciplinarian that you feel that you're lacking, you understand the overall judgment that had to take place for your heart to break, or for the judgment to take place for the heart to break. Like the why it happened and the why it needed to occur. And that it occurred didn't lessen you. It didn't diminish you. It didn't make you lesser of a person or lesser to be respected. It more so heightened areas where you need to stand pride in needing that to be respected, to bring your own self into structured balance. Yeah, Three of Pentacles, the excitement. Look at that, independence, Queen of Swords energy, and a King of Cups support. So you're feeling the support from ethereal guides. And that ethereal guide is based on where your consciousness thinks and acts in certain moments or given moments of action or inaction, and forces you to believe in a form of feeling. And that form of belief and feeling brings you that sense of independence. And that naturally pushes you to feel more secure in how you feel with the King of Cups energy giving you the support. But you realize there was not one single person giving you the support. It was the adventures of maybe the expression of other people that you met along the way, or the experiences that you remember, or the memories you hold dear, or just the convictions that you receive in accolades or compliments, or the prestigious roles of titles and mastery that allow you to feel emotionally fulfilled, and that it takes away from needing to be emotionally fulfilled by a person. And then once you understand it from that perspective, in comes swooping the individual that is and has always been your quote-unquote rock. That is the King of Cups energy of that twin flame duality, where the symbiosis is a synergy instead of chaos. So I see someone of like a high prestige role coming in. So this is like a shifter of acute, excited role of this individual. Virgo energy is more coming from a small town city, not really like maybe off the map. And then this other person is from like a known city. Like people talk about it maybe in her city as like the place to be. Even if like New York City is part of that equation, like, oh, this person might be coming from New York City. Or you might meet this person in New York City, or even a city. The possibility is ridiculous. But I see lots of artificial light, so it gives me this city-like appeal. We have the Hangman, stillness. It's one thing to be excited, but it's another thing to be still, because in the stillness, you reach your excitement. And that excitement stays alive because you're in the stillness, just feeling it. And that's the type of relationship you secretly want. And that's the relationship that was secretly tainted, where you thought you had to start disbelieving in love. And if anything, you're actually severed the tie with the Queen of Swords style and cut the cord of judgment, so that way you can reassess, having to let go of accrued karma from just existence of before, and because of conscientiousness, being able to cut the cord of all that bullshit and expedite, like traveling, like time portal traveling into a dimension that offers you your twin, just like that. It's like, wait, how did I get here? And that's that feeling where no time and space matters. Some of you talk to your twin auditorially, so in your mind, telepathically, you hear things, you hear blurbs of energy or blurbs of words, and that's coming from twin. It's not a blanket statement that will fit for everyone. Alright, we have Queen of Cups energy. So where the King comes up of the Cups energy, the Queen comes up too. Full balance of the feminine and masculine energy that we need to understand synergy, to understand symbiosis, to understand a meshing, a growing, an evolution of fulfillment here of the Nine of Cups energy. Some of you should be more attentive to, if you're smoking cannabis, to whom you're smoking with. It is also an exchange of energy. I'm also hearing prepare yourself for the next season. But this isn't about going into survival mode. This is just about anticipate evolution, a huge metamorphosis happening after that season. And it will make sense after that season. During, it's a transformation, so it's rough. But that's not new for the majority of you who feel connected to that message. All right, darkening. Like I said, yeah, ash. You're transforming. So the next season is something that you've always kind of been asking for, all right? You've seriously been asking for this for a very long time. Whether this is even a person coming in and being a mentor or being the guiding light, that life coach, something is going to show up and offer you a ton of rebirth, a ton of minerals to kind of get back to what you always knew, but making that journey going back to what you always knew a harmonious ride to really take a stance on and bring your own stability towards, so that way you can execute anything that you'd like, whether it's having better relationships with people in a better way, in a better light, because you have a better understanding to your own internal darkness, your own internal anger, your own internal temperament and betrayal and experiences that you just know you just don't want to bring to people that don't, I guess I don't really like the word, but deserve. All right, deserve is not the word, because if you were in the presence, they would be like, I would always want to be a witness of whatever it is that you want to be. It's not about deserving. It's about reaching an awareness and knowing that any insecurity that comes and reaching an awareness in the place and an environment that you are safe in, you don't need to address them because they will be naturally understood. Next season could be heightened visions as well, maybe nightmares, and just very maybe lucid dreams, astral traveling, just things happening when you're slumbering, when your physical body is actually at a resting place, but your mind is busy. The Captain taking command, teamwork. The Musician, inspiration, gratitude. I feel like this message is coming from ancestors. More so the Captain taking command than the Musician part, which is the irony for Bastard's energy. But anyway. Segment likes to see how you work in collaborating with people with different energies, whether they're of the same or of differences. If one can live peacefully, and by taking command, you also take claim to wanting to bestow peace. And that it kind of requires teamwork. So that's a lot of judicial power coming in of universal, I guess. Seeing that expression of emotions being pushed from one person to another. This is also moon energy here for Bastet, so it's very inspirational. It's very about talking and singing your song and dance, creating space for your music, creating space for those hardened thoughts, those fears, and loosening shadows, loosening mistakes, regrets, and with it also controlling, not manipulating people, because darkness can do that. Darkness can be a delusion. Yeah, the assassin, ruthlessness, conviction. Darkness can be a delusion. So in that, it can bring triggers to the third eye, which is a connection to the divinity. And if one doesn't understand how your own third eye operates, it could give you triggers that you're not understanding. So you might feel delusioned in certain aspects. And when you feel delusion in certain aspects, you're being your own assassin, because you're being ruthless to not understanding certain convictions that you're actually feeling at this time. So this is like more than a shout out to those individuals that are not doing embodiment of shadow work, and branching out the idea of maybe not needing community, because community is a continuing process of trying to tell humans that they need in order to thrive, and it's just not true. It's not true in just a linear aspect of living. You don't need community to live. There's a ethereal, emotional thing that is to be gotten from living with more than one person that could maybe sway how well you feel in the day-to-day, but it has nothing to do with living and breathing and existing in matter of earth. To understand it is to understand the accept guide and their different forms of expression. Here with the guide inheritance correction, they can help correct your mistakes by teaching you things in different ways that human tongue cannot do. The adventure, responsibility, expectations, that tower element, right? Where we have to understand the chaos of the storm and make sense of it by not ridiculing it for it to make sense to us. Just allow it to do it itself, and the sense may come. Whatever it is, the fulfillment is a perspective as much as the heartbreak is a perspective. Coming through here. And then we have the perspective. Fulfillment over here. Right. Alright, so put that over here. Virgo must accept that the higher power, the lineage to your intuition, is the gateway to accepting that you can't control change, and you can't control how people dictate their own independence towards you by gaslighting you, by giving you no answer, which you have to accept is an answer, by reaching their own attitude of selfishness, ego, narcissism, empathy, pain, whatever, to gain a sense of manifestation power for themselves, even if you don't understand the connection to you that it has as to why you feel off, is a reason for you to feel that this could also be a lesson, that to not feel that these individuals leaving you is a flaw onto you for you to feel the negatives. It's more so become acquainted with the fact that these types of individuals don't have anything to offer you. And if you understand that they may not have anything to offer you, you may have a sense of worth that kicks in the awareness of, but I do have acknowledgement to myself because I acknowledge my existence. And once you acknowledge your own existence, your delusions become more painted, because then you can almost paint possible expectations, like where this card is coming up, like these possible expectations of like this opportunity over here and this opportunity over there, and maybe that opportunity over there and maybe opportunity over there, where maybe it's dictated by fear because you just don't know this uncomfortable feeling, because this uncomfortable feeling may have been a dialogue, an argument, or something traumatic dictated by another person, an outside energy, where you're now in the void of space of thought and feeling, trying to make sense of this type of behavior, this outcome, this consequence, and you having to pay attention to it. So if you can dance with that fear a little bit differently, it's kind of taking control back. And that control wants to communicate with you, whether it's giving you different choices, and then you becoming encouraged enough to look at your options and choose one, and then a new adventure begins. Okay, maybe you're like, have a flash of like a paintbrush, and you're like, oh, I haven't painted in a while, that is true. I haven't like picked up that paintbrush in the closet for a minute, let me get back to that. And maybe doing something like that gives you an understanding how shadow aspects work. They need to be entertained. You need to bring your light of consciousness to areas where you feel you brought sadness to, because the sadness needs to be entertained, that it can become something more than sad. It doesn't want to remain sad. Okay, so it's kind of the best way I can describe that one. Chaos on the outside. Hopefully it's not too disruptive in the reading, but kind of explains all the warped pool of karmic mess. Play a Knight of Wands with the Two of Cups energy. The argument in the background. So now I guess we kind of wish we could hear the details, huh? The drama. Karmic pool, the Wheel of Fortune. Having a different mentality in the karmic pool of things, because it's just not working out in your favor here with the Tower card. Alright, Virgo, that is all that I have for you at this time. Check out the description box below, again, for any of my services, for I am a master healer, and I look forward into making connection wherever you are in the ether of this existence. May you have a good one. Take care.